Hello, guys. It's Luke Devsich here from Patient Rush, and today I have with me Dr. Richard Hirschinger from Los Angeles. Dr. Rich, thanks so much for coming on today. Appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. So, to get us started, Rich, if you could just give us a little bit of background on your story and how you got into the industry and what you're currently doing.
Pretty unique journey for me. Had a couple left turns, right turns, 180-degree turns. Attended USC Dental School, finished in '85. Practiced general dentistry for just over 10 years. 1995, had a couple bike accidents. I'm an avid cyclist. Hurt my hand, hurt my back, and had back surgery, and that worked out well. I had hand surgery, and that didn't work out so well. And I basically had to give up the practice of dentistry because in the hand injury, I crushed the tip of my left index finger, and I'm left-handed. Really didn't know what to do. Ended up going to business school. And I started in 1999 when the market was roaring, and you can just kind of stick your finger out behind you and pick a stock and make some money. And the dot-com crash happened, and we were given an assignment to come up with an e-commerce model. And I went surfing, and I came across DDS.com and DMD.com, and both were just single-page domain names, and I ended up purchasing them. So I got into the marketing world and did websites for dentists. And then obviously when mobile phones came around, we created mobile sites and then social media. And 2007, I had the company running for about 6 years at that point. Was in a car accident with my daughter. A kid ran a red light, and my daughter was treated and released. And next day, my back started hurting. I went back to the back surgeon, and he said, "You're going to need a spinal fusion." And 4 months later, my mom had a severe toothache on the lower left, had a root canal on number 18, didn't help. Root canal on number 19 didn't help. She got referred to an oral facial pain specialist, which was not even a field I was aware of at the time. And he diagnosed her with trigeminal neuralgia. Fast forward 2 years, I ended up getting the spinal fusion. My mom ended up needing a brain surgery to quiet her pain. And I just got interested in chronic pain, and I ended up going back and doing a 2-year full-time residency in oral facial pain at UCLA. Literally a couple months after I finished the residency, a private equity company approached me about purchasing my website business. And I said, sure. It was a number that was good enough for me, and started my practice of just treating invisible pain in early 2013. And I'm one of the unusual dentists that just does not touch teeth. So I'll treat any kind of primary headaches, migraine, cluster headaches, tension type headaches, any kind of head and neck muscle and nerve pain, anything kind of related to the TMJ, which is to me one of the most misunderstood diagnoses, and then snoring and sleep apnea.
Wow, that is an interesting journey. Fantastic. Yeah, awesome. So what throughout all your career to date, Rich? What's a principle or strategy that's worked successfully for you? In any of your business, or the one that you're doing now, the one that you're focused on now with the pain, the invisible pain relief. Is there any strategy or principle that you go by that you could share with the listeners?
I think one of the most important things with what I do is that you always want to have a diagnosis before you start treatment. Like I said, the term TMJ is easily the most kind of misunderstood term by the public. People come in, I would say 95% of my patients come in saying they're in my office because they have TMJ. And I always have them point with one finger to where their pain is, and they'll go, and they're basically pointing to muscle pain. And so many of my colleagues have tried to treat their teeth, try to treat their occlusion, and a lot of times it really hasn't helped. What we found in my residency, there was no high-speed handpieces, so we couldn't even have the option of adjusting the teeth. was that most of the pain that patients are having is from what I call excessive occlusion. Their teeth are together too much,
Yeah.
and they're clenching, they're grinding, they're stressed out from COVID, from the election, from their practice being closed for a couple months. And now, a lot of patients are, hesitant to come in. Some are still afraid of, catching the COVID to fight the best practices. Everybody's, trying to do, obviously, to protect themselves, their staff, their whole team, as well as the patients.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an article in the New York Times, I think about 2 weeks ago, written by a prosthodontist in New York. And she just wrote an article saying that she's seen such a much higher incidence of people coming in with cracked teeth because of the stress.
Wow.
And that kind of led me to believe, we've always kind of known that stretching is very, very important. And took about 3.5 years, but I ended up inventing a little device called the Gentle Jaw. And it's just a little passive stretching device, which is kind of the opposite of trying to treat teeth.
Yes.
There's different sizes. And what I got to do is I got to get people to keep their teeth apart and get them to stretch. And believe it or not, doing that for 30 seconds several times a day is really beneficial for patients.
Can imagine.
Yeah, there's a great video if anybody wants to Google it or actually go to YouTube. Comedian named Bob Newhart, old-time comedian.
Yeah.
The video is called Stop It. Has nothing to do with dentistry. The message is just stop it.
Yeah.
We've got to get people to stop clenching, to stop chewing gum, to stop causing their own pain, and learn to keep their teeth apart.
So is that you're saying there that a lot of the clenching and is stress related, or it's like mental, emotional, or whatever you want to call it, and then that's the effect of that. And then of course your device helps to release that. Is that, like, what would you say is the main cause, or that you see, or that you've learned over the years of your practice?
Well, the big key there's a lot of dentists are very, very aware of what I would call having a nighttime plan, making a night guard for a patient. There's another device that another oral facial pain colleague of mine invented. It's called the Quick Splint. And it's a way to instantly, in just a couple minutes, give a patient a real temporary splint, because some patients are like, I don't grind, I don't clench, I don't need to wear a night guard. And it's a flat plane appliance.
Mm-hmm.
And within a week, when the patient comes back, there's all these chicken scratches in it from their teeth grinding on the appliance, so they can see what they're doing at night. The daytime plan is, we teach them what we call the N rest. So the letter N, when you say that, your tongue is right behind your maxillary centrals and your teeth are apart. So the muscles are relaxed. And then I have the patient stretch using the Gentle Jaw for 30 seconds about every 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I have them do a penalty stretch if they catch themselves clenching during the day for 30 seconds. So stretching and keeping their teeth apart during the day. And then, typically, we prefer hard, full coverage appliances. We typically make them on the lower because they tend to be more comfortable. They're a little bit smaller. They don't take up the airway. And then there's just a wonderful spray called ethyl chloride. It's used in athletics by trainers when baseball players get hit by a pitch, or when soccer players, get kicked, and it's just muscle pain.
Yeah.
You can just spray that on the patient. And I had a patient yesterday, 19-year-old, having pain for 4 years, referred to me by the orthodontist because his bite's a little bit off. And I think a lot of it is just the muscles are very, very contracted.
Mm-hmm.
And I sprayed him. His pain on the left within 20 seconds went from about he said was an 8 down to a 0 or a 1. And he was looking at me like, what just happened?
Wow.
And it's topical, and it also kind of I use it therapeutically, and I also use it diagnostically because it really helps patients understand that the pain that they are feeling is from their muscles, because that spray will only help their muscles. And it's just uh, something I could not live without in my practice.
Fascinating. Wow, super interesting. Nice, Rich. So shifting gears a little bit, how important is marketing for your business in this particular niche and type of patient that you serve, and what kind of marketing do you do in your clinic? Which is going to be an interesting answer, because you just told us how you did that before getting into the invisible pain niche.
I'm probably preaching to the choir of most people listening that marketing is everything. I'm obviously learning that just inventing a little device and going through the patents and the trademarks and the injection molding and getting all that set up, and you got your box and it's nicely all packaged. If people don't know about it, you're not going to make any sales. And it's the same thing. If people don't know about your practice, they're not going to know about you. I've always said that if someone knows your name, my name is pretty difficult. It's not easy to spell. If someone knows my name, they're going to be able to find me.
Yeah.
Marketing is about people that don't know your name.
Yeah.
They don't know that you personally exist, but they're looking for the type of services that you provide. Obviously, was kind of at the genesis of websites, when websites really sucked back in the 2000. I kind of cringed with the first version of websites that we offered. It was all WYSIWYG, meaning what you see is what you get. The dentist can go in there and edit it themselves, but it was still very rudimentary. The design really wasn't there, and a lot of dentists really just didn't understand marketing. They're like, I don't want to. I don't sell. People. All my business is referrals. And I remember I had a client in Philadelphia, probably mid 50s at the time, and he's like, I just want to sign up with your service because I like this email thing. And we built him, a really nice website. And I think maybe 6 or 8 months after we got it live, he's like, this is really blowing me away, because again, he was mainly a referral-based practice, and he was amazed of the number of people that would look online and decide to go to him. We did him up with a really nice logo. The website, matched everything, and it was kind of his identity. And he really did not think that it was something that he needed, but it was just something he didn't know about. So marketing is huge. Obviously, so many things with marketing is all about change. If you put up a website and you don't touch it, Google doesn't like that. They like fresh content. They like to have new content. And then Instagram, obviously, Facebook, there's so many different touch points that people can go after. And you really have to have your eye on the ball and always post new content and just keep it fresh, and keep giving patients as well as your prospective patients a reason to see you and learn about you. And if you don't have a website, you don't have an Instagram, people can't share that great new case of veneers that you did, or the whitening, or whatever it is that you want to share with the world. If you only have a photograph of your before and afters in your office, good luck getting new patients other than straight from referrals.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And what's the current challenge that you have, Rich? We all have them, and what's one in your business right now that you're working on that if you could wave a magic wand and fix it, you would?
I think the biggest challenge for me is, as an oral-facial pain specialist, we just became the 12th recognized specialty by the American Dental Association in March of this year. My big challenge, our little acronym is OFP, and my big challenge is that a lot of my colleagues are really ultra conservatives. They're kind of the type that don't like to advertise. And I say, marketing to me is not advertising. advertising kind of in a simple sense is, my crown fee is 2,000, but I'll have a special today. I'll do 3 for 1,500, right? You're competing on price. Marketing is, hey, I do great veneers. I do great whitening, whatever it is that you do. So the big challenge for me is to get the public aware of orofacial pain. My little joke is the OFP, as far as the public is concerned, is that it stands for obscure from public. They don't know about us. So we're typically doctor last. The patient will get referred from the dentist. The dentist will make what I call the cranial nerve 11 diagnosis, going, I don't know why you're having pain. Maybe refer them to the fill in the blank, the oral surgeon, the endodontist, or the orthodontist. And a lot of times they eventually end up in their office if they've already tried other procedures. I had an 80-year-old patient 5 weeks ago, went to one endodontist. He did a root canal on, in order, 19, 18, and 20, was referred to a different endodontist, and she did an endo on 17. And he was reporting this sharp shooting electrical pain that didn't bother him at night and was very intermittent. And that's a telltale sign of something we call trigeminal neuralgia. So we should have been that second referral, but because we're so unknown as a field, patients end up in our office as a last resort. So my biggest challenge is having people aware of the field of orofacial pain and what we do. We're one of the great people, great specialists to refer to, because most of us don't touch teeth. So I'm never going to try and keep that patient for the hygiene recall or to, fix the occlusion or to do any restorations. I don't even have a high-speed handpiece. So I'm just there to get them out of pain and get them back to the referring dentist.
Yeah. Nice. And lastly, Rich, just to wrap us up, over and above everything that we've talked about here, is there any parting advice that you would share with someone who's maybe, just getting started or trying to get to that next level in their business? From your experience, what would you share with them?
I think I would probably go back to what I know about quote unquote TMJ and muscle pain. We don't need a lot of the referrals that are coming into our office. A lot of times, patients are referred in for Botox or they're referred in for procedures, and it's just your garden variety everyday muscle pain. And ask the patient to point with one finger where their pain is, because the patient going like that, it's not real specific because you can't really localize it.
Yeah.
If they point with one finger where their pain is, that really helps kind of provide the diagnosis. Get them on a real quick nighttime appliance. That quick splint's a good appliance. Definitely get some ethyl chloride in your office. My website is facepaindr.com. There's a great page on there about ethyl chloride and how to use it. It's see it, do it, teach it, and learn how to do that. It would probably take me about 30 seconds to teach a dentist how to use it. And so many times the patients are like, wow, I feel better.
Yeah.
Or they'll give you a blank stare like, where did my pain go? And you even get some patients crying because it really is that beneficial. And then learn how to get them to stretch, learn how to get them to keep their teeth apart.
Yeah.
And that'll take away the referrals. I mean, some of my orofacial pain colleagues are having kind of a love-hate relationship with my little gentle jaw device. Dentists, can get it wholesale at gentlejawcom. They can mark it up. It can be a little profit center for them, or they can just send the patient straight to Amazon and they can buy it directly there or directly from our website if they don't like to resell stuff.
Yep.
But the love-hate relationship is, I had it like this gentleman yesterday came in, ethyl chloride was really beneficial, and he was really convinced that, yeah, there's a lot of muscle pain. I'm probably just going to need, I gave him a kit of the gentle jaw.
Yeah.
And emailed me this morning. He goes, wow, I was really tight this morning. And he had to start on the medium and kind of work his way up to the large. If he had known about gentle jaw, I probably wouldn't have not even need to see him. Mm. And it's just a great starting point for a dentist to kind of have in their toolkit. Again, a little bit of a teeny profit center for them.
Yep.
And a lot of these patients have problems after long dental appointments. Get them to stretch. They come in and they have this pain, and it's really simple to try and diagnose. It's an easy way to start.
Yeah.
If that's not beneficial, go ahead and refer them. Obviously, if they're in LA, I'd love to see them. We've got several orofacial pain colleagues around the country. There's only about 300 of us that are board certified. There aren't many of us, but we don't want to change the bite. We don't want to change really anything except their habits and get them to stretch. So a lot of dentists tend to overthink, quote unquote, TMJ. Mm-hmm. So I guess my parting advice is try and uncomplicate it. And sometimes it's just as easy as getting patients to stretch, keep their teeth apart, and be aware that they're not really contributing to their pain.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for that, Rich. Really appreciate it. So just remind everyone, if they want to reach out to you, either through your oral pain clinic or your device, where do they go to find out more about both of those two places?
My practice website is Face Pain DR, the word face, the word pain, dr.com. Okay. And then the gentle jaws at gentlejaw.com. Someone once asked me to describe it. We've all heard the elevator speech, what is the gentle jaw? Well, I came up with a little tagline. In 4 words, it's yoga for the jaw.
Nice.
And we just got to get patients to stretch, and it's pretty much the shortest elevator speech there is.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, thanks again, Rich. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.